If you believe oatmeal is automatically a healthy breakfast, stop right there. It might be, or it might be quietly exhausting your pancreas, inflaming your arteries, and sabotaging your energy before lunchtime. Shocking, right? Take my former patient, Janet, 67 years old, retired teacher, didn't smoke, walked every morning, ate a bowl of oatmeal with a touch of brown sugar and skim milk every day. But she still couldn't figure out why she kept needing a nap by 10:30 a.m., why her focus felt fuzzy even after 8 hours of sleep. It wasn't until we reviewed her labs that we saw the bigger picture: unstable insulin levels and early signs of fatty liver. She wasn't eating donuts. She wasn't drinking soda. She was just unknowingly sabotaging herself with one healthy bowl of oatmeal. Let me be clear, oatmeal is not the problem. In fact, real oats are full of soluble fiber, gentle on digestion, and help lower cholesterol. But if you're over 60 and mixing in the wrong toppings, and trust me, most seniors are, then you're turning something healing into something harmful. This video will uncover 7 everyday ingredients that can silently spike your blood sugar. 2. Stress your liver and kidneys. Accelerate inflammation. Increase your risk for diabetes, weight gain, and fatigue. Some of these toppings you've trusted for decades. Others are cleverly marketed as healthy, but they're anything but. If you're still sprinkling in brown sugar, using flavored packets, or stirring in protein powder thinking you're helping your body, stick with me. You'll learn the real science behind why each of these add-ins can be dangerous after 60. What to use instead that actually helps your body heal. Comment 1 below if you're ready to discover what's really going on in your breakfast bowl. Let's protect your morning starting now. Part 1. Brown sugar, the sweet saboteur, after 60. Let's be honest. That morning scoop of brown sugar, it seems harmless, right? A little sprinkle on your oatmeal, just enough to sweeten things up. But after the age of 60, even just a teaspoon could quietly be turning your breakfast into a metabolic minefield. Brown sugar isn't healthier than white sugar. Here's why. Many people assume brown sugar is more natural, less processed, or somehow better for you. But from your body's point of view, brown sugar and white sugar are nearly identical. Both are mostly sucrose, and both break down rapidly in the digestive system into glucose and fructose, which then slam into your bloodstream like a sugar bomb. As you age, your insulin response slows down and becomes less efficient. That means sugar spikes last longer, crash harder, and leave you feeling tired, foggy, and ironically hungrier than before. According to a study from Mayo Clinic, older adults experience delayed but prolonged blood sugar spikes after consuming simple sugars, leading to what they call postprandial fatigue and increased inflammation. Janet's story. The 67-year-old who felt exhausted by 10 a.m. Remember Janet? She was trying to be healthy. Every morning she ate oatmeal with a splash of skim milk and a teaspoon of brown sugar. But she kept crashing by mid-morning. Felt lightheaded, craved more sweets, couldn't concentrate. When we reviewed her blood glucose levels, the truth came out. Her blood sugar was spiking to 175 milligrams DL within 45 minutes, then plummeting below 70 by late morning. That sharp dip? That's reactive hypoglycemia condition that feels like anxiety, fatigue, and brain fog rolled into one. And the culprit? That innocent-looking scoop of brown sugar. The aging pancreas plus fast sugar. A dangerous combo. Your pancreas doesn't work like it used to. Once you hit your 60s or 70s, it produces less insulin, and your cells become more resistant to it. So when you add fast-digesting sugar to your breakfast, you're essentially throwing gasoline on a smoldering fire. Here's what happens. 1. Blood sugar spikes. 2. Insulin floods your system. 3. Sugar is stored as fat. 4. Your energy crashes. 5. You crave more carbs. 6. The cycle repeats daily. Over time, this leads to increased belly fat, chronic inflammation, higher risk of type 2 diabetes, and yes, even cognitive decline. The dopamine trap. Why sugar makes you crave more sugar. What many people don't realize is that sugaries, even brown sugar, activates dopamine in your brain. This is the same brain chemical triggered by alcohol, nicotine, and gambling. It gives you a temporary high, but when it wears off, you're left craving another fix. And it's not about willpower, it's about biochemistry. If you start your day with brown sugar, your brain is more likely to seek more sweets throughout the day, setting you up for a roller coaster of cravings, crashes, and fatigue. What to use instead? Sweetness that loves you back? Here's the good news. You don't have to give up sweetness entirely. You just need to swap it for slower, smarter sources that won't stress your metabolism. Try these instead. Alternative benefits. 1/2 ripe banana. Adds natural sweetness plus fiber, potassium, and vitamin B6. Ceylon cinnamon. Helps regulate blood sugar and reduce inflammation. Pure vanilla extract. Boosts flavor without sugar or calories. Unsweetened shredded coconut. Adds healthy fats and texture with no sugar spike. These options don't just taste good, they support your energy, brain, and heart. Final thought. One tiny scoop, one massive ripple effect. That little scoop of brown sugar? It's not just a teaspoon. It's a signal to your body, one that can disrupt your entire morning metabolism. If you want stable energy, clearer thinking, and a healthier heart, ditch the sugar that burns fast and leaves a mess behind. Your breakfast should lift you up, not drag you down. And tomorrow morning, you'll know exactly what to leave out and what to add in. Now tell me in the comments, do you use brown sugar, honey, or fruit to sweeten your oatmeal? Type it below, I'd love to see where you're at in your health journey. Part 2. Artificial sweeteners, the zero-calorie trap that burdens your liver and gut. You've made the switch. No more sugar in your oatmeal. You've gone smart, replacing it with sugar-free syrup or those little pink and yellow packets. But what if I told you that zero-calorie might be costing your health more than you realize? Artificial sweeteners confuse your body, and that's a problem. Sweeteners like sucralose, aspartame, saccharin, and acesulfame potassium may promise no sugar and no calories. But here's the catch. Your body still reacts to them. Why? Because your brain and gut are used to a very old pattern. Sweet. Energy. But with artificial sweeteners, you get the sweet without the energy. This mismatch confuses your insulin response, increases appetite, and even slows down metabolism. A 2021 review published in the journal Nutrients confirmed that daily use of artificial sweeteners in older adults is linked to increased belly fat, slower weight loss, and more metabolic resistance. Charles Case, 74, diabetic, and doing all the right things. Charles, 74, was doing his best. Diabetic for 8 years. No added sugar in his diet. He sweetened his oatmeal with sugar-free maple syrup and used sucralose in his morning coffee. He thought he was being smart, until his liver enzymes came back elevated, and his digestion slowed. He felt bloated, fatigued, and confused because he wasn't eating junk food. Once his doctor advised him to remove all artificial sweeteners, his digestion normalized, his labs improved, and he regained energy. "I thought I was helping myself," he said. "Turns out I was just giving my liver one more thing to clean up." What happens inside your body? Here's how these zero-calorie choices can turn into a big problem after 60. System: what goes wrong? Brain anticipates calories, doesn't receive them, increases hunger and cravings. Insulin system reacts to sweetness anyway, can cause elevated insulin and fat storage. Liver must metabolize synthetic chemicals, increases toxic load and inflammation. Gut microbiome. Artificial sweeteners disrupt good bacteria, worsens digestion and immunity. Aging already puts stress on these systems. Artificial sweeteners just add another layer of burden. The gut connection. Why your microbiome suffers. Recent research from Stanford University showed that even small daily doses of saccharin and sucralose alter the gut microbiome in older adults. That means less of the good bacteria that keep your immune system strong, more bloating, indigestion, and silent inflammation. A less efficient absorption of nutrients like bloated, magnesium, and calcium, all of which are critical for people over 60 to maintain brain health, energy, and bone strength. What to use instead? Natural sweetness, smart choices. You don't need to go back to refined sugar, but your body will always do better with real, food-based sweetness that carries nutrients and fiber, not synthetic chemicals. Try this instead. Alternative benefits. Cinnamon, natural blood sugar regulator, anti-inflammatory, rich in antioxidants. Almond or vanilla extract adds sweet aroma and flavor with no sugar load. Fresh berries. Natural fructose plus. Fiber equals slower absorption and gut-friendly. Grated apple adds moisture, pectin, a soluble fiber, and natural flavor. Greek yogurt, unsweetened, creaminess, plus protein, plus mild tang that enhances natural sweetness. These choices work with your metabolism, not against it. Takeaway. It's not about cutting calories. It's about cutting confusion. Artificial sweeteners don't nourish your body. They trick it, stress it, and leave your liver and gut with extra work they didn't sign up for. And at this stage in life, your body deserves clarity, not confusion. Fuel, not false promises. Support, not strain. Comment 2. If you've ever used artificial sweeteners thinking they were the healthier option, and let us know what you're switching to instead. Part 3. Dried fruit, the healthy topping that quietly burdens your liver. Dried fruit seems harmless, maybe even wholesome. Raisins, dried cranberries, chopped dates, dried apricots. They come from real fruit, right? What could go wrong? But here's what most people over 60 don't realize. Dried fruit is a concentrated form of sugar, and your liver has to deal with every bit of it alone. The truth about dried fruit and fructose overload. When fruit is dried, its water disappears, but its sugar remains, often becoming 2 to 4 times more concentrated. A small handful of raisins? You might as well be eating a candy bar in terms of sugar content. And unlike glucose, which your muscles and brain can use for energy, dried fruit contains mostly fructose, which is metabolized almost entirely by the liver. Too much fructose, especially in concentrated form, can lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, insulin resistance, abdominal fat gain, increased triglycerides, silent inflammation. A 2020 study in the Journal of Hepatology found that seniors who consumed high fructose diets had a 38% higher risk of developing fatty liver, even without drinking alcohol. Gerald's story. But I thought apricots were healthy. Gerald, 69, was proud of his breakfast routine. Every morning, a bowl of oats, skim milk, and a handful of dried apricots. He thought he was boosting fiber and antioxidants, but he often felt bloated after breakfast. His blood pressure readings were creeping up. His doctor noticed elevated liver enzymes. The switch? He dropped dried fruit entirely and replaced it with fresh blueberries. Within a few weeks, the bloating eased, and his blood work normalized. He told me, "I didn't realize those little pieces could do that much damage. Why dried fruit is especially dangerous." After 60, as you age, liver detoxification slows down. The body becomes more sensitive to sugar. Cellular inflammation builds quietly, without immediate symptoms. That means what you could handle at 40 may now be quietly overwhelming your liver at 65. Plus, many commercially sold dried fruits, like cranberries and banana chips, aren't just concentrated. They're coated in extra sugar or syrup to improve flavor and shelf life. A tablespoon of dried cranberries can contain up to 20 g of sugar, nearly 5 teaspoons in a bite-sized scoop. Fructose, inflammation, and the aging brain. What many people don't realize is that excess fructose also crosses the blood-brain barrier. High fructose intake is linked to slower cognitive processing, increased risk of Alzheimer's and vascular dementia, impaired mood regulation. Aging brains already struggle with glucose and oxygen delivery. Adding more liver-toxic sugars to the system only makes it worse. What to use instead? Keep the sweet, lose the risk. You don't have to give up fruit in your oatmeal, but it needs to be the right kind. Here's how to enjoy natural sweetness without damaging your liver. Smart alternatives, why they work. Fresh apple slices high in fiber and water. Slows sugar absorption. Sliced banana adds sweetness plus potassium, gentle on digestion. Blueberries, rich in anthocyanins, brain protective compounds. Chopped fresh peach or mango in season. Natural sugar with water and antioxidants. Strawberries, low glycemic load, supports immune health. The key is hydration plus fiber. When fruit still has its water, your body processes it slower and safer. Final thought. Your liver has worked for you for 70+ years. Time to return the favor. You don't have to give up sweet, flavorful oatmeal, but you do have to stop unknowingly flooding your liver with fruit-shaped sugar bombs. Stick with whole, fresh ingredients. Give your liver a break. Give your brain a chance. And remember, tiny habits build major outcomes over time. Comment 3. If you've ever used raisins, dried cranberries, or apricots in your oatmeal. And tell us what you're switching to instead. Part 4. Flavored oatmeal packets. The convenient breakfast that may be raising your blood pressure. You wake up, tear open a packet, pour hot water or milk, and stir. Quick, easy, tastes like maple or apple cinnamon. Sounds like a healthy start, right? But here's the uncomfortable truth. That tiny, friendly-looking oatmeal packet may be packing more sodium, sugar, and synthetic chemicals than your body can safely handle, especially after 60. What's really inside those flavored oatmeal packets? Most people never read the fine print. But here's what's typically inside that warm, sweet-smelling bowl. 200, 300 milligrams of sodium per packet. Artificial flavorings to mimic fruit or spices. Stabilizers and preservatives. Added sugar or syrup. Colorants and anti-caking agents. And when you mix that with milk, salted butter, or add your own toppings, the sodium and sugar content skyrockets. The impact of hidden sodium on seniors. Let's talk sodium. For older adults, especially those with hypertension, kidney disease, or heart conditions, the recommended daily sodium limit is just 500 milligrams, according to the American Heart Association. But just one flavored oatmeal packet plus A slice of toast plus soup later at lunch could easily blow past that. High sodium intake contributes to stiffening of blood vessels, fluid retention, higher blood pressure, increased risk of heart failure and stroke. For older adults, this means more swelling, puffiness, and fatigue, even if you don't taste the salt. The chemical flavor trap. Maple flavor. Without maple. Here's the kicker. That apple cinnamon or brown sugar maple flavor, it's not real fruit, not real maple, not real spice. It's chemically engineered aroma and taste designed to trick your senses. And to do that, manufacturers use artificial sweeteners, color additives, flavor enhancers, like maltodextrin and natural flavors. None of these ingredients nourish your body. They only stimulate, disguise, and burden your liver and kidneys with cleanup duty. A study from the Journal of Toxicology found that older adults exposed to synthetic flavoring agents experienced a higher inflammatory response, especially those taking medications or with existing kidney stress. Obj. Carol's story. 73. Retired. And always puffy. Carol used to rely on flavored packets. I live alone, she said. I just wanted something warm and easy. But she noticed her hands were swelling more. Her rings felt tight. And she often felt puffy after breakfast. After switching to plain oats with cinnamon and apple slices, she said, my bloating went down. My blood pressure readings were better within weeks. I never imagined that tiny packet could be the cause. What to use instead simple doesn't mean boring. If you love oatmeal but want to avoid the harmful additives, go back to basics. Swap this for this instead. Flavored oatmeal packets, plain rolled or steel-cut oats, artificial maple, apple flavors, real apple slices, plus Ceylon cinnamon, synthetic sweeteners, banana, berries, or pure vanilla, packaged cream flavor, splash of almond milk or plain Greek yogurt. These alternatives provide real fiber, antioxidants, natural sweetness, no extra salt or chemical burden. And you're not just feeding your taste buds, you're feeding your heart, brain, and kidneys. Final thought. Marketing isn't medicine. Oatmeal packets promise whole grains, low fat, and healthy energy. But they leave out the part about additives, sodium, and synthetic chemicals. If your breakfast is supposed to help your body heal, don't start the day by making your liver and blood vessels work overtime. Comment 4. If you've ever used flavored packets for convenience, and tell us your favorite clean oat toppings instead. Part 5. Non-dairy creamers, the powdered ad in that quietly sabotages your heart. You're avoiding milk. Maybe you're lactose intolerant. Maybe you just prefer something lighter. So you add a little powdered non-dairy creamer to your oatmeal, just for that creamy texture. Seems harmless, right? But here's what most people over 60 don't realize. That seemingly innocent spoonful can carry ingredients that quietly increase your risk of heart disease, liver stress, and inflammation. What's inside non-dairy creamers and why it matters after 60? Most powdered creamers are loaded with partially hydrogenated oils, artificial flavors, emulsifiers and thickeners, preservatives like sodium caseinate or mono, and diglycerides. And here's the red flag. Many of these products still contain trans fat 7 if the label says 0 grams. Why? Because under FDA regulations, if a serving contains less than 0.5 grams, it can be legally rounded down to 0. But when you use them every day, that tiny amount adds up, and so does the damage. Trans fats, a senior's silent enemy. Trans fats are one of the most dangerous ingredients in processed foods. They have been directly linked to increased LDL, bad cholesterol, decreased HDL, good cholesterol, increased arterial inflammation, higher risk of heart attack and stroke. According to the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, even small, repeated exposures to trans fats can be harmful, especially in older adults whose cardiovascular systems are already more vulnerable. Frank Story, 75. Thought it was just powder. Frank, 75. Used powdered creamer in everything: his oatmeal, his coffee, even in soup recipes. He liked the taste. It was cheap, and it didn't require refrigeration. But he started noticing slower digestion, acid reflux, increased cholesterol despite no change in diet. His doctor suggested cutting out powdered creamers entirely. Within 2 months, his lab work improved, and so did his digestion. Frank said, "I thought it was just powder. I didn't realize it was messing up everything else." How creamers impact aging organs. What happens with long-term creamer use? Heart trans fats raise cholesterol, increase arterial plaque. Brain chronic inflammation contributes to memory decline. Liver must filter synthetic fats, artificial flavors, preservatives. Gut emulsifiers disrupt good gut bacteria. Weaken immunity. At age 60 plus, your body's detox systems, especially the liver and kidneys, are already working overtime. Adding synthetic creamers creates unnecessary metabolic stress on every level. What to use instead? Creamy, real, and safe. If you love that creamy texture in your oatmeal, you still have options. These alternatives add richness without the health risks. Use this instead. Why it works. Plain Greek yogurt adds protein, probiotics, and tangy creaminess. Unsweetened almond or oat milk. Plant-based, low sugar, gut-friendly, small amount of organic dairy cream. If tolerated, gives richness with real fat, not trans fats. Coconut cream, unsweetened, natural fats, supports metabolism and hormone balance. These are whole food options. They don't confuse your body, they nourish it. Final thought. Don't let convenient powder cost you real health. Non-dairy creamers are marketed as light, simple, and shelf-stable, but their impact on aging hearts, livers, and digestive systems can be anything but simple. Your body is wise. Your metabolism may be slower, but it's still working. Don't sabotage it with synthetic junk. Comment 5 if you've ever used powdered creamer in your oatmeal, and tell us which creamy alternative you'll try instead. Part 6. Store bought granola, the crunchy topping that could be fueling your fatigue and joint pain. It's crunchy, it's trendy, it looks natural, with golden toasted oats, nuts, maybe some honey. Granola seems like the perfect topping for your oatmeal: healthy, wholesome, energizing. But for many older adults, that handful of granola might be doing just the opposite. Triggering blood sugar spikes, promoting inflammation, and even making your joints feel stiffer. What's really in that healthy granola? Most store-bought granolas contain added sugars, honey cane syrup, brown rice syrup, refined oils, canola, soybean, palm oil, preservatives and anti-caking agents, flavor enhancers. To get that signature crunch and shelf-stable consistency, manufacturers often bake oats in sugar syrups and oil blends, turning what could be a healthy snack into a processed sugar fat bomb. Even low-sugar granolas often contain 15-20 g of sugar per serving, and many people eat 2 to 3 times the recommended portion size. How granola wears down your body after 60. As we age, The body's ability to regulate blood sugar and metabolize fats becomes more delicate. That means these granola ingredients can affect consequence. Spike insulin levels leads to energy crashes and belly fat. Fuels systemic inflammation. Increases joint pain, stiffness, fatigue. Overload the brain with sugar, causes fogginess, mood swings. Adds sodium and hidden additives. Stress kidneys and promote water retention. Granola might look rustic and clean, but your body feels its effects as ultra-processed. Ellen's story. 70. 1. Active, but always sluggish. By noon. Ellen, 71, was proud of her morning routine oatmeal with a big spoonful of granola for texture. She exercised regularly, but still felt tired by lunchtime, achy in her knees, struggling with afternoon sugar cravings. When we analyzed her breakfast, we realized she was eating more sugar and oil than a chocolate chip cookie before 9 a.m. She swapped the granola for chopped walnuts and unsweetened coconut flakes. And within 2 weeks, her energy steadied and her cravings disappeared. Her words? "I didn't know my healthy breakfast was dragging me down." The inflammation connection. What your joints are trying to tell you. The oils commonly used in commercial granola canola, soybean, and palm oil are high in omega-6 fatty acids. While omega-6s aren't bad on their own, when they greatly outnumber omega-3s, they promote chronic inflammation, especially in older joints. Add to that the blood sugar roller coaster from sweetened clusters, and your body wakes up every morning to an invisible chemical storm. What to use instead? Crunch without the crash. You don't have to give up texture or flavor. Just trade processed crunch for nutrient-rich crunch. Clean crunch alternatives, health benefits. Unsweetened coconut flakes. Adds healthy fat and texture. Low glycemic. Raw almonds or pecans rich in protein and anti-inflammatory fats. Toasted sunflower or pumpkin seeds. Magnesium rich. Supports muscle function. Chopped fresh apple or pear. Adds crunch plus. Natural fiber and water. These choices won't spike your insulin. They'll give you sustained energy, not a mid-morning crash. And your joints will thank you. Final thought. Let your oatmeal heal, not harm. Granola has great marketing. Words like natural, wholesome, and heart-healthy are everywhere. But if it's made in a factory, filled with oils and syrups, and tastes like dessert, it's not serving your aging body. At 60, 70, and beyond, what you eat should support recovery, mobility, and clarity. That starts with ditching fake health foods and choosing real ingredients. Comment 6 if you've used granola in your oatmeal and share the healthy topping you'll try next. Coming up next, Part 7. Protein powders. The muscle myth that might be quietly straining your kidneys. Part 7. Protein powders, the muscle myth that might be quietly straining your kidneys. You've heard it everywhere. Older adults need more protein to maintain strength. And it's true, but how you get that protein matters. If you're stirring protein powder into your oatmeal every morning, thinking it's helping you stay strong, you may unknowingly be putting extra strain on your kidneys, your liver, and your aging metabolism. The problem isn't protein, it's what comes with it. Most commercial protein powders are ultra-processed blends of artificial sweeteners, sucralose, aspartame, synthetic thickeners, xanthan gum, guar gum, preservatives and stabilizers, flavoring agents, sometimes undisclosed. Even natural protein powders can include whey isolates, processed plant protein concentrates, and chemical additives, all of which your body must digest, filter, and eliminate. And at 60, 70, or 80 plus, your liver and kidneys just aren't filtering like they used to. Dennis's story. 78, fit, and still overdoing it. Dennis, 78, followed all the advice he read online. He blended protein powder into his oatmeal every morning to support muscle maintenance. But over time, his kidney function markers worsened. Energy levels dropped. Appetite declined. His doctor traced the problem to excess protein plus synthetic additives in his daily breakfast routine. Once Dennis switched to real food sources of protein later in the day, his labs stabilized and his fatigue faded. He told me, "I thought more protein meant better results. I didn't realize I was flooding my kidneys." Why excess protein isn't always better after 60. As we age, our kidneys become less efficient even in healthy individuals. According to the National Institute on Aging, after age 60, glomerular filtration rate, GFR, declines gradually even in people without diagnosed kidney disease. That means when you consume more protein than your body needs. 1. The excess isn't used for muscles. 2. It gets broken down into nitrogenous waste. 3. Your kidneys have to work harder to excrete it. 4. Over time, this accelerates kidney strain and tissue wear. If you're also taking medications, blood pressure, cholesterol, anti-inflammatories, your kidneys are already working harder. Protein powders may tip the balance toward chronic overload. It's not just the protein, it's the package. Beyond kidney load, many protein powders contain artificial sweeteners, disrupt gut health, raise insulin, thickeners and gums, cause bloating, gut irritation, low-quality isolates, spike blood urea nitrogen, BUN. So instead of helping your metabolism, they create digestive stress, inflammation, and systemic burden, especially problematic in older adults already dealing with fatigue or chronic illness. What to use instead? Real protein, real results. You don't need protein powders to get a strong, energizing start. You need clean, balanced, food-based protein sources your body recognizes and uses efficiently. Here are safer, whole food options to replace powders in your oatmeal routine. Smart protein add-in benefits. Plain Greek yogurt, unsweetened. 15 protein per serving. Plus, gut-friendly probiotics. Chopped nuts, walnuts, almonds. Healthy fat plus protein combo. Supports brain and joint health. Hard-boiled egg on the side. Complete protein, easy to digest. Chia or flax seeds. Provide protein, omega-3s, and help regulate digestion. Cottage cheese, low sodium. High in casein, supports overnight recovery and satiety. These choices are gentler on the kidneys, support muscle maintenance, and don't require filtration of synthetic junk. Final thought. Don't let high-protein marketing hurt your longevity. Protein is essential, but only when it's matched to your needs and delivered in a form your body can truly use. At your age, the quality of protein matters far more than the quantity. Choose clean, real, whole foods. Give your kidneys a break. And remember, your body still heals and rebuilds. You just need to fuel it with clarity, not clutter. Comment. 7. If you've used protein powder in your breakfast, and tell us your favorite food-based alternative. Final segment coming up. Conclusion. The Oatmeal Reset. How to build a breakfast that heals you, not hurts you. Final thoughts. The Oatmeal Reset. How to build a breakfast that heals, not hurts. If you've made it this far, you now understand something most people never question. It's not the oatmeal. It's what you put in it. Oatmeal, on its own, is one of the best breakfasts you can choose, especially after 60. It's full of soluble fiber, gentle on the gut, and supports heart and metabolic health. But mix it with the wrong things, and that same bowl turns into a hidden threat. The 7 common add-ins to avoid after 60. Let's review what we've covered. 1. Brown sugar. Rapid blood sugar spikes. Insulin stress. 2. Artificial sweeteners. Gut imbalance. Liver burden. Increased cravings. 3. Dried fruit. Fructose overload. Fatty liver risk. 4. Flavored oatmeal packets. High sodium. Fake flavorings. Chemical additives. 5. Non-dairy creamers. Trans fats. Artery inflammation. Digestive disruption. 6. Store-bought granola. Refined oils plus sugars equals joint pain and energy crashes. 7. Protein powders. Kidney strain, synthetic overload, bloating. Individually, each of these may seem minor, but together, over time, they create a daily metabolic burden your aging body wasn't designed to handle. Why this matters more as you age. After 60, everything changes. Your insulin response slows down. Your kidneys and liver filter more slowly. Your gut microbiome becomes more sensitive. Your cardiovascular system becomes more vulnerable. What worked in your 30s could now be silently harming you in your 70s. But the good news? You have full control over your breakfast. The better bowl. What to put in your oatmeal instead. Here's how to build a bowl that nourishes, energizes, and heals. Add this why it helps. Sliced banana or fresh berries. Natural sweetness plus. Fiber plus. Antioxidants. Cinnamon, vanilla, or almond extract flavor without sugar or calories. Unsweetened coconut flakes or chia seeds. Healthy fats plus texture plus gut support. Walnuts or almonds. Anti-inflammatory, protein-rich, brain protective. Unsweetened almond or oat milk. Creamy, low sugar. Easy to digest. Greek yogurt or soft-boiled egg on the side. Protein your kidneys can handle. You don't need gimmicks. You just need real food that loves your body back. Lesson learned. What you do every morning shapes your health. Every day. It's not about restriction. It's about awareness. The oatmeal habit you've trusted for years can still be your ally as long as you make a few powerful changes. So here's my final advice, from one health-conscious soul to another. Read your ingredient labels. Question. Health halos. Granola, creamers, flavored packets. Swap processed additives for real simple ingredients. And most of all, listen to your body, it speaks louder after 60. Ithea. Final words of encouragement. Your body still wants to thrive. It still responds. It still heals. And something as simple as what you stir into your oatmeal can tip the balance toward more energy, clearer thinking, and longer health span. If you found this video helpful, comment below with the change you'll make to your oatmeal starting tomorrow. Type, I'm choosing clarity, if you're ready to fuel your body the right way. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a health tip again.